First of all, I give praise to the Supreme Intelligent Universe, God of my forefathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, and due respects to all the dignitaries here, Chief Prince Yariel, and all the Prince and Chief brothers and sisters, ministers, mothering, visitors. Greet you all in the time of my forefathers. Shalom Aleichem, Shabbat Shalom. Indeed, it's a pleasure to be here and be able to share some things concerning our way of life. But and I'll be remiss, since I took this long ride up here from Florida, except, cover some details about where I'm from and what kind of standards I grew up under. All right, and one of the things I'm originally from BINAH Zaken'S, from classes straight up. I mean, they had classes when I came up, straight up. They had a bunch of teachers coming up. I was even told by Prince Yaakov himself while I'm partying, "Don't Chief Rock got a class?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, why aren't you there?" He ain't talking to my cousins. He's not talking to my friends. He's telling me I got to go to class. So I'm upset, but I went. It paid off. It really paid off. And one of the things we had to understand, see, a lot of people have a misunderstanding about our status and the way we had, offices and leadership. And that's why I need to clear up some things that's going around on Facebook. I don't do Facebook. I just had my sons and, different brothers and other chief men tell me this on Facebook. And I say, wow, that's on Facebook? I said, well, that's not how things went in BINAH Zaken'S. And as a teacher, growing up as a student, as a teacher, and one of the final teachers in BINAH Zaken'S that knew Prince Yaakov before, right now I could say anyone in this room, from the beginning, and going that first trip to Chicago, and knowing more brothers in Chicago before most people in this room that have Prince and Chief status, I can speak with some kind of authority about how we did things.
That's right.
And that the truth is like whether people like it or not, whether they accept it or not. And I mean, and the thing is that no one guy ever sat down and say, this is so and so, that's such and such. That was never done. That's number one. I must speak on that. Also, there's always more chiefs than princes because of the way the status was. Next is also, we never had, I understand they had something about a council of princes on the Facebook. No such thing ever existed in BINAH Zaken'S. When they say it existed in BINAH Zaken'S, where are the chiefs going to be then? And we just had a council of princes. And each title has some kind of thing behind it. Chief Elazar. Everybody, some brothers, older brothers might say Doc, Rofe. But though he's a chief man, he was one in Alta Tribe Lewi. He also was from Panama. All them guys, some people know Chief Amos, Prince Elisha, Chief Captain Meshulam, all these guys. Chief Elazar, and I'm just giving you a little rundown of where I'm from, was supposed to be the layer signer over everybody from Panama. That was his actual status. And there's enough people still around to know that's what it was. We had guys like governors. We had 3 governors. That's it.
Right.
Panama, New York, and Guyana. Young guys. We had those 3 guys there. Young guys in BINAH Zaken'S. All right. We had Chief of Chief with Chief Yehudah, who happened to be the first Chief Levite from BINAH Zaken'S. From the start, BINAH Zaken'S. BINAH Zaken'S basically started in the 50s. And they got the charter in the 60s. And that when he left for various reasons, BINAH Zaken'S, went over to Hashaba for a while and came back and was working with BINAH Zaken'S. Prince Yaakov said, well, we don't have Kohanes in here. So since we don't have no Kohanim, since you was the first Chief Levite, we're going to call you Chief of the Chief Levites. That was actually his role. All right. Make it clear. All right. Now, make it clear. with things going on now, most people look at those titles as joke, because everybody want to be a rabbi, Kohen, minister, anything other than that, because they say, well, you don't look rich enough to be a prince. You don't look rich enough to be a chief. Yet you read in a book where servants are riding and princes are walking. You read where kings were dragged off in chains.
Okay.
Well, very few of them made it back on the throne.
Right.
Everybody wasn't good as Manasseh to be able to go to Babylon and dragged off in chains and then get back on the throne. Only one that ever did that. And he reigned longer than any other king, 55 years. I bring that out to say that, and when we talk about princes, chief, or chief prince, that's something we started developing after Prince had passed. And that's because you had congregations, and if you have princes and chief in a congregation, by proxy, you have somebody is a figurehead, a chief prince. And one of the things is this: because you have a title, don't mean you have all this authority over the next individual. All that means you have a greater responsibility to live up that you should never fall below. And that's what it's all about. Because we is chosen as God's peculiar treasure, right or wrong?
That's right.
And if we were chosen as God's peculiar treasure, that'll mean we have authority over the world. Right. We have a responsibility to the world. Right. That's our role. So we got to kind of stay in our lane and don't get pompous, because and those things, and also do things where we say decently and in order.
That's right.